Let's do this. Welcome, one and welcome all, to The Chronic Atheist, the podcast where a manic, depressive, non-binary atheist talks about life. No medical advice, expertise, or opinions should be inferred, is intended to be implied, nor should be this disclaimer. I stumbled all over that. A product of Mayhem and Foolishness Productions, I'm your host, Junk Shop, The Chronic Atheist. Thank you for coming. Adult content warning, medical stuff, and adult language. All right, here we are. It's the third episode. It's Saturday. It's the 15th of May, 2021. I had therapy this morning. And now I have guilt. That's not the blame of my therapist. I have guilt that I spent the proportion that I did of the therapy hour talking about this new medical stuff and how it's affecting my day-to-day life and how it's affecting my mental health and how it's affecting those around me. And we talked about precious little else over the course of the therapy session, and I have weird guilt because of it. I know that I shouldn't, and my partner told me that I shouldn't, but I do, regardless. I've got a lot of guilt regarding my ongoing medical stuff. I feel like it eats a lot of space and takes up a lot of bandwidth in my life, and more so right now than normal, because I'm dealing with new and exciting symptomatology that's not, that I don't have any coping mechanisms for or strategies by means of which to combat. There's no salvaging that sentence grammatically, but I stand by the structure. Or not the structure, the content. Sweet Jesus. I've been doing a lot of avoiding today. I'm working my way through MC Toon's back catalog of flat earth debates and enjoying it entirely too much while relentlessly refreshing my social media tabs and generally poking around online. I don't want to sit around and think about my health. I don't want to sit around and talk about my health, whether that's in real life or over the internet. Oh God, I'm so scared. Y'all? I am so scared. The vertigo is getting worse instead of better. The last couple of days, and I mean that literally, the last couple, yesterday and today, it has gotten to where I have to be very careful about the speed at which I move my head, because it triggers vertigo that can get bad enough to trigger nausea. Somebody please, God, I remembered to put in the content warning about medical stuff. I'm 90% sure I did. Oh golly. I am nervous about this appointment on I've got a neurology appointment this coming up Tuesday. And that's scary enough on its own. And I strongly suspect would be even for people who didn't have doctor issues. I've got a mild but present phobia of doctors and medical personnel, generally speaking. And I'm looking at the very real possibility, if this turns out to be anything, of spending a lot more time around doctors and medical personnel generally, at least for a while, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Oh my goodness sakes, I've got to shave today. I really do. I know that kind of came out of nowhere, but my neck itches. I've got way more facial hair than I'm comfortable with. I've got a lot of dysphoria issues wrapped up in facial and body hair, and I'll talk about that at some future point in the podcast. That's a chronic issue I've been dealing with chronically since, well, if I'm being honest, since fucking puberty hit. I don't know if it was a good idea to come on here and record an episode on a day when I'd already had therapy. I kind of needed to climb back inside my performance suit a little. I'm going to be doing that anyway later. I've got a live stream. Therapy's good. Therapy's good. My therapy has helped me tremendously over the course of the past year and change that I've been in therapy, but it takes a lot out of me. I'm not accustomed to walking around with my emotions exposed. I've usually got some kind of character suit on. I certainly do at work. Half the time I do in my personal life. There's very few people that I can be around without feeling pressure, at least pressure from myself, to wear some kind of character suit. I've got a very small, very select circle of people that I really feel safe around. I got a lot of issues, and being locked in the house except to go to the grocery store masked up like a fucking plague doctor for a year, and seeing people act like they shouldn't be doing the same damn thing has not helped my trust issues. Anyway, all of which is to say, yep, y'all heard my good old trusty chair there, didn't you? God, the microphone on this thing is amazing. Okay, so, anyway, all of which digression is to say, I am, I am paying somebody to make me take all the masks off and leave all the character suits at home, figuratively. We're still under pandemic protocol. We do everything over the moral equivalent of, well, I don't want to name any particular brands, a video conferencing software. Now you just wait, there's something out there trademarked as video conferencing software, they're gonna come after me now for using their, and see, I'm deflecting. I told y'all I'm not good with opening up, and I'm not good with emotions, and I've decided to do that on the internet for some reason. I don't know. I think it's good for me. It feels right. It feels like a good thing to do. I told my shrink about it. He said, or my therapist rather. I hadn't talked to my shrink in a hot minute, but my therapist thinks it's a good idea. My partner thinks it's a good idea, and that's butting up real hard against the end of the list of people whose opinions I seriously take into consideration. There's one or two others. Hadn't seen them in entirely too long, though. I didn't have a topic today before I started talking. I just thought, it's this a new project. I need to keep it off the ground if it's going to get off the ground. I want to be open and honest with y'all. That's the point of this project. The Chronic Atheist, talking about life and chronic illness. And I've got some chronic illnesses. I've got anxiety disorders. I've got pretty impressive depression. Both of those am I medicated pretty heavily against. I'm subject to panic attacks. I've got IBS. And I've got whatever's wow, I moved my head too fast there and the vertigo came for me. And I've got whatever new joy this is crowding down upon me with new and more interesting and more intense symptoms. Seems like every time I wake up. Jesus. So. I know what I wanted to tell y'all. Something I told my therapist this morning. One of the reasons I decided to start this project, this podcast, was I follow a lot of people on various online follow-friendly platforms who deal with chronic illness. Some are aggressively open about it in an activist way, and some of them are just have mentioned once or twice that this is something they deal with. But most of them are speaking from a post-diagnosis standpoint. And while I've heard people talk in retrospect about that fear and uncertainty and the stress and aggravation of dealing with doctor upon doctor that so often comes before you get a diagnosis, I hadn't seen anybody do it in real time. I'm sure somebody has done. I'm sure multiple people have done. I just haven't seen it done. And so I decided I wanted to do it. At least for a while. We'll see if this project has legs. We'll find out. There's God, I am so tired. Y'all, I am so tired. I got 10 hours of sleep last night and I'm so tired. I'm not going to cry on the podcast. Not yet, anyway. Not on episode 3. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, we're creeping up on 15 minutes. I don't want these episodes to drag out past their welcome. And I'm running out of stuff to say, not having had a topic or done any preparation. You can follow me on the various social media platforms if you want. The handle is Junk Shop Library, all one word, just at junk shop library, like where you buy junk and where you check out books. That's the end of the plugs. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Alright, it's time to go conserve spoons until it's time for me to live stream. And I gotta climb into a character suit before I do the live stream. Gotta make myself do it, or I'm not gonna do it. I want to thank y'all who were listening and downloading this already. I didn't expect anybody to be listening to it already, so it's lovely of y'all to be here. I don't know who the fuck you are, because Podbean lets you be an anonymous string of letters and numbers, and I think that's awesome. Especially if you're interacting with a podcast like this, where you might not necessarily want to have your name attached to anything you say in the comments. So that's good. Don't hear me saying it's anything but good. There is never pressure on anybody, including me, to out themselves as their actual name. Heaven knows I never have done. Not intentionally anyway. I'll tell y'all a funny story someday. Okay, well, this has been today's episode of The Chronic Atheist, where a manic-depressive, non-binary atheist talks about life. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. As we always say before we wrap up, everybody take care, be safe, stand against hate. I hope to see y'all again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye now.